I just wanted to share a few realizations I had over the past week. Also, guys, I am so sorry that I did not post for so long, but what I'm doing is I am creating this little routine to get back on, because, man, I abandoned that 4 a.m. routine a long time ago. But this time, I'm going to be waking up at 3 a.m. That's my goal. And I'll be recording. And each week, I'll be posting my progress of the whole week. So the video of the first week is coming out this Wednesday, and then the next one next Wednesday, and then next Wednesday, like that. Okay? But yeah. And I'm gonna see how that goes till August 22nd, but yeah. Back to the topic. So, anyways, my first realization was, now this happened in a conversation with my friend. She is an atheist, so she does not believe in God of any kind. And so we were talking and we had this conversation, right? It was more like a debate, but we were having this conversation. And she was questioning if everything in life that you experience, good or bad, is the accumulation of all the karmas from your past life, how do you explain trauma? Okay, I'm gonna explain. Because I've been through trauma, right? And that was my question for the longest time as well. Because I was like, okay, so did I deserve this? That happened to me? No. Okay, for all the people out there who've experienced trauma and are in this kind of debate, no. Your trauma is not your fault. This person used their free will to commit an act, a negative act against you, and that is not your fault. That is on them, not you. Okay? The family you were born into is the result of your past karmas. Your actions, okay, will further create karma, whether that be good or bad, okay? Depending on your actions. Your actions and thoughts and intentions, they're like seeds. Now, in the Advaita Vedanta, there are 3 bodies. Your gross body, which is the physical body. Your subtle body, which is in the gross body, it's the subtle body that controls your mind, your intellect, your senses, and your 5 organs, like hands, feet, your reproductive organs, and then your excretion organs, right? Now, beyond that is the casual body. The casual body consists of the good and bad merit karma. That's stored in your casual body, as well as unmanifested impressions. What people refer to as a subconscious mind is your subtle body, okay? That's where all memories of your past lives, that's where your actions and your thoughts, repeated actions and thoughts, imprint. That's where it all is stored. Which is something I had no idea about. I thought it was just in your brain somewhere, because, like, you know, when you think of the mind, it's like, oh, the brain. No, actually, it's much more deeper than that. It's honestly so fascinating just learning so much about so many things, and the fact that when your intellect isn't fully developed, or like when your intellect doesn't have all the knowledge, because the intellect is to know all knowledge, we create our own projections into life, and we look at life in a more distorted lens. And that is crazy, because this is all just like written in the scriptures, I think. And like, this is so similar to what I experience in my day-to-day life, and just everyone else too, honestly, because everyone operates from their own inherent biases and perceptions and projections of life. It's so crazy. Oh my gosh. And hasn't psychology proven this too? With our human brain doesn't have the capacity to hold incomplete information. It has to just keep making its own assumptions and its own thinking and put its own thoughts into the information we get. seriously, like, okay, let's say, about astronomy. Now, there's so many unknowns, and scientists can just speculate on these things. And plus, the fact that Big Bang itself is a theory right now. It's the most solid theory, but it's still a theory nonetheless, right? And it just comes to show, like, we as humans just cannot sit with incomplete information. Guys, it's 11:11. Okay, anyways, moving on to my second realization. We're not as great as we think we are. Okay, let me explain. So, I get we need to have confidence in ourselves. We need to take care of ourselves, have self-respect, right? But when we get stuck up and we're like all in our head, right? Like, oh, I'm just this great, I'm this great, this and that. That's when, like, your ego comes into play. That's when arrogance shines, pride. And that is the inevitable downfall of a human, when the person starts being prideful in themselves and being egotistic. And I'm not saying that what you should be is timid and shy and, like, unsure of yourself. No. What I'm saying is, be confident, right? But be self-aware, okay? Be self-aware, because not everything that you say is true. And always question things, because I like this in my friend. She always questions things. And I've started to do that as well. Like, I start questioning things, and then I start researching on that, right? Because if I don't research on that and I just stay with them, that those are still biases, right? And questioning things, coming up with, researching, and then using all that evidence, and that's a more informed decision than just blindly accepting things or blindly accepting what another person questions, right? Because even the person that questions doesn't have all the facts straight, okay? Every person has a limited capacity of understanding things. We're experiencing life as humans. We're not gonna know everything, okay? Which is why it is said God works in unknown ways. We cannot understand that. That's why it's unknown to us. And that's the beauty, honestly. You don't know how God works. I think that's where all the magic happens, because that's where your faith is tested. Like, how much do you believe in God? That's just my thing. And then my third realization is, your relationship with God is yours alone, okay? And when you don't have a good relationship with yourself, you can't have a good relationship with God. I've had this experience with myself. When I would feel intense shame, guilt, and just really bad things, and I felt really bad about myself, I noticed that's when I had the least amount of faith. That is when I didn't have a good relationship with God. When you are not good to yourself, you can't be good to other people. Plus, your soul, in the Advaita Vedanta, it is said that your soul is Brahman, is God. If you do not take care of the God within you, how are you going to take care of others around you? Everyone has God in them, right? Everyone has a soul. They have God's essence in them. If you don't take care of yourself, how are you supposed to take care of someone else? I believe that we're just parts of God, that just got lost. Just lost our way. And we're just finding our way back. As usual, if you have different opinions or different viewpoints as mine, let me know. If you're just insulting me, then I'm just like, may you find peace someday. But anyways, thank you for watching, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.